All right. Hey, everyone. What's up? It's James Preston here along with
Graham Tennant.
And we're with you with another live streamed edition of Market Analysis. And what an exciting day it is, because things are going nuts at the moment. There is so much to talk about and there is so much happening at the moment. Graham joining me from his home. I'm at my home at the moment. Excuse the very boring background here. Graham's got a much better one at his home office. And excuse my cap. If any of you notice my cap that it says Maximalist, I was given this by Samson Moe of Blockstream in Canada. I'm not a maximalist. I just want to say that. I just really like the cap.
Wearing my maximalist shirt, James.
Oh, look at that. You've got your Blockstream shirt.
I'm in the same cap as you as well.
Well done.
Bullish on some of the
So yeah, we align ourselves a little bit more with the likes of perhaps maybe Raoul Powell than the likes of Samson Moe, despite how intelligent Samson actually is when you chat to someone like that. Guys, so this edition today is proudly sponsored by Crypto Vault, and I am going to just show you a little bit about where you can find them. They are over at www.cryptovault.co.za. They are official resellers of Trezor and Ledgers, okay? You can get them direct from their website. They have stock, so it comes to you within a day or two. They are a really reputable outlet. So if you would like to store your crypto in a very secure location, a hardware wallet, offline, then Crypto Vault is a place to do that, cryptovault.co.za. Now, Graham, it's been nuts at the moment. I mean, just today alone, the day started with the Nigerian central bank clarifying their position on crypto. They were apparently closing down various bank accounts related to cryptocurrency. So very interesting news in Nigeria. Then it was Dogecoin, which was setting new records after Elon Musk tweeted about it. Who let the Doge out? And he went further and further. Then it went even crazier. Tesla announced through an SEC filing of their financials that they had invested $1.5 billion into Bitcoin. That sent the price sky high, which you're going to talk about now. But not only that, it shut down Binance. Binance was out. What we understand is that it's just starting to recover now, but Binance was actually out for almost an hour. So, Graham, just unbelievable news today to wake up to if you're in the crypto markets.
Yeah, huge news stories coming out, and must be keeping you busy on the news front. I think you'll need to hire a few more writers to keep up to date.
I tell you what, please everybody buy a crypto. Please everybody buy a crypto wallet so that you can support our sponsors, so we can generate some more revenue. We need more writers. I agree with you.
Yeah, so very crazy times and almost historic times with the type of news flow that we're getting about crypto. It does make me slightly nervous though as well. So as much as it's great to see the movement up on the chart and seeing the accounts grow almost exponentially, when we see these type of moves. On the other hand, you want to exercise some caution, I think, in these type of environments. This obviously the whole mentality around investing is to sell when there's too much greed in the market and buy when there's fear in the market. And when the market's moving like this off the back of Elon Musk tweets, I mean, this is almost the definition of euphoria. So still very bullish long term, but in the short to medium term, I would advise to exercise caution, although not in a financial advice sense. And for myself, I'm looking to downweight some of my more aggressive positions and move back to rather just the default hold positions and the more speculative positions to pull back on some of those, and obviously take the leveraged positions off the table as well.
Okay, that's very interesting. Now, Graham, I've made you a host. Show us what the charts are telling you at this moment in time, because, I mean, what amazes me about Bitcoin to this day is how big those candles are when the market moves quickly. But I see you're starting with the South African Rand. That's interesting.
It wasn't the intended chart, and I apologize. I just had a helicopter fly over my head.
No, we didn't hear that.
So I had myself on mute there. So yeah, let's start with something a little bit different. So let's start with the total crypto market cap. And Paul Francis is one that's been sending a lot of messages and newsfeed out by our different channels, and he's been sending out some great analysis, I think. And the total market cap is one of the charts he's been watching, and it's just good to see maybe a more full picture of the market as a whole. And just what I want to point out is that we recently went through the 1 billion total crypto market cap across, sorry, the 1 trillion market cap for cryptos as a whole. So
I'm going to have to jump in here, Graham. Unfortunately, I think you may have shared the wrong screen with us, because we are still only seeing the South African rand, which is very depressing. So bring us on to something more encouraging. We'd be extremely grateful.
Let me try that again. Is that the correct screen?
There we go. We got the total crypto market cap. Yep, $1 trillion. Just mind blowing, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, pretty insane. I mean, yeah, this just started off as a bit of a cottage industry for for geeky tech guys, and look where it is now. It's a $1 trillion market cap, and it's blown through it. It's 1.2 trillion and moving up as we speak. So that's just some of the magnitude to actually recognize in this market, and it's I'll say slowly but surely, but it's quicker than that, is becoming a real asset class in its own right. And it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy, because as it gets larger, it draws the attention of your institutions and larger money managers and becomes more of an attractive vehicle for investment the larger it gets. So just incredible growth that we've seen over the last little while across not just Bitcoin, but the whole crypto industry itself.
So, I mean, I'm not sure how long you want to stay on that. Was it just a quick?
Yeah, that's
just a quick intro. But breaking out of that symmetrical triangle, would you say that's breakout done and pullbacks expected from there?
Yeah. So I mean, let me jump into the Bitcoin chart as we speak further about this. So I do see the breakouts obviously having clearly taken place. So I think you've really potentially missed the boat for this current leg up. So this is the daily chart, and we can see that we've had a really positive day here. What I would have preferred to have seen is a longer, more protracted build-up of energy, and I think we may have potentially taken off too early, which may have taken some of the steam out of the balloon. So if you think about like a wind-up toy, you really want to wind it up all the way to encompass all of that energy, latent energy within inside that mechanism, and then release it and let it run. So I think we may have I hope we haven't had a bit of a false start, but this is looking a little bit overextended for me. So this is something of what I would have preferred to have seen, is a symmetrical triangle with a more protracted build-up, but Elon didn't want to see that happen, and he jumped the gun, I think, and he's got us off out of the starting blocks a little bit quicker than expected. So, and we also did see that the original kind of news that came out, we saw something similar. That's this wick that you can see here, where it didn't really have much follow through. So I don't know if we're going to see a similar kind of sell-off and pullback from the current highs that we've got now, or if we just keep on going. So look, this is where it does become very speculative. And I don't know about you, James, but I'd much prefer to see a Bitcoin bull market that lasted for years, rather than months. And with this type of price action, I just can't see it moving parabolic like this for a number of years. So I think that the more explosive price action we have in the short term, the shorter duration this bull market will potentially be. And that's just a little bit disappointing, because you want to be able to exercise responsible investing principles when entering the crypto market. But when it starts to move with such volatility, that becomes very difficult to do and very difficult to manage your emotions. So as you can hear, kind of mixed feelings with this latest price action. And again, this is where I'm looking to exercise some caution, take some risky positions on the table, potentially even reduce my hodl size. If you're looking to start investing, start building position up, I would personally wait for a pullback. So that's the camp I'm sitting in. Long-term bullish, but short to medium term definitely would definitely looking to exercise caution in my own capacity.
Now, Graham, show us the Ethereum chart, because what is interesting here with this green candle move in comparison to the 2017 run, when Bitcoin moved like this, the altcoins, including Ether, would get smoked. Ether is still holding above that $1,700 level. That's interesting, perhaps showing a bit more maturity.
Oh, that's an interesting point, James. So, I mean, even with Ethereum here, so we've got this rising wedge, which is typical. Well, look, there's different ways this can play out. What it looks like we're going to get here is a move to the upside of the rising wedge, which just shows you the overwhelming bullishness that we've got. But again, it's not the most sustainable pattern for long-term continuation. And obviously, often what happens is that you get a spike through the top of this rising wedge and then almost a capitulation sell-off thereafter. So these are some of the warning signs that are baked in here. The other fundamental thing to point out with Ethereum is that we had the futures launch. Well, the CME launched the Ethereum futures last night, actually, Sunday night. And that gives institutions the ability to take short positions on Ethereum. And we had a similar scenario occur in 2007 at the peak of the Bitcoin bull market.
Yes, 2017 with Bitcoin, yeah.
CME launched their futures, and that was almost the nail in the coffin for that bull market, and we saw some intense selling off thereafter. So we haven't seen it come in straight away, but this is also something on my radar to say there's a potential for institutions to come and take short positions, which they didn't have access to before, specifically in Ethereum. And then you've got all the DeFi projects attached to Ethereum as well, many of which are direct competition to your banks and financial institutions, where they're offering proper almost one for one, like for like financial services. So if you dig a little bit deeper, there may be some additional incentive for some of those institutions to suppress some of the growth in the space. But that's speculative. And the charts we have been moving up today, but again, my position is to be exercising some caution on Ethereum as well.
What about ETH to BTC? That has taken a knock significantly after this recent candle. I think a lot of people were very bullish on that specific chart. If I look at everything that you've shared so far, for me, out of all three of these, I would say ETH BTC probably the most dangerous out of all three. That's me personally.
What makes you say that, James?
Well, because of the sell-off that has occurred since this BTC spike. I mean, we've seen a huge $3,500, $4,000 candle on BTC today, and that's just smoked the ETH BTC market. Yes.
So so this is the inverse head and shoulders we've got on this long-term time frame. So this is going back to kind of mid 2018, and so this is not all that surprising for me personally. This is kind of what I expected to potentially be playing out. So we ran this very important resistance level, which was around that's that pink level that I've highlighted there. We got that breakthrough, and now we've come back to test. This is the second time we essentially testing, and I think there's still a decent chance that we go sideways a bit and it builds up some energy, and then off to the races again. So if the DeFi story does start to play out further, I mean, that's where, I mean, I've seen done a little bit of due diligence, and there's some really exciting innovations coming through that area, and that's all built on the Ethereum blockchain. That's some true innovation that's potentially coming into the blockchain space, which again I think will potentially be the fuel to drive Ethereum past Bitcoin in this bull run, at least as far as returns go, and in so doing take market share away. So nothing here has invalidated this pattern for now. So again, a test of this pink zone here is pretty normal price behavior, even if it has happened with quite a lot more volatility than one would generally be used to. But still very bullish Ethereum in the long term, as I am with Bitcoin, but more so to Ethereum.
So you're still expecting, very much like a lot of macro analysts, Michael Saylor's been talking about this as well, very bullish on ETH in terms of potential returns versus Bitcoin.
Yeah, so I think we did this in one of the previous market analysis, but it's still relevant. So if you just do a traditional head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders projection to the upside, so you measure the neckline to the bottom of the head and project upwards, you could see a move to give or take, the 0.06%. So that would mean that as far as price goes, Ethereum is, one Ethereum is 6% of the price of Bitcoin. So to put that another way, from here, if we see Ethereum take a 50% grow 50% in terms of its value against Bitcoin, then it should do an extra 50% return on whatever Bitcoin does. So if Bitcoin does 100%, but Ethereum does 150%. So that's a type of power and potential almost leverage that you get when you are holding Ethereum versus a Bitcoin position.
All right, Graham, we've been through 3 of your main charts there. Is there anything else you want to say before we take a couple of questions? So for everybody that is watching, we want you to get some questions ready in the comments there. Shoot with anything you'd like to ask Graham. And Graham, anything else in conclusion?
Fire away with the questions.
Okay. Well, Paul Francis says, where does he post his address for the Ledger Nano S? That's very simple. When you make your order, make it your home address, buddy. All right. We did have a question on Telegram, and it came from Skulk. Skulk asked, can you guys possibly look at USD ZAR? So considering he's asked and you have the chart open, I'm not sure if it's easy for you to have a quick squiz for the sake of Skulk who's asking.
Oh, the USD ZAR. Okay. So on the whole, what we've seen is a potential turnaround of dollar strength versus not just the rand, but other emerging market currencies and other assets that are priced in dollars, as one would generally expect. So let's just get it up here quickly. But we haven't really seen that fully follow through as of yet. Let's have a quick look. So here was the 2020 was the year of rand weakness. We ran really hard up during the first half of the year, and obviously there were quite a lot of fears around Corona, and that's pushed people into the dollar, away from emerging markets, of which the rand is one. We then taken back quite a lot of that until now, and now we're getting to a bit of a decision time. There was an inverse head and shoulders setting up here as well, but that never materialized, which is actually quite positive for the rand. So let's just highlight that.
It seems like the Hardy-Dars are incredibly agreeable today with all your points that you're making.
The Hardy-Dars on your end or my end?
On your end.
There's plenty of them across.
They like what you have to say. All right, so here's the
head and shoulders that was potentially setting up there, and we failed to break that neckline. So that's actually quite positive for the rand, that scenario didn't play out. So actually, I seldom say this, but fairly bullish the rand in the short to medium term. Longer term, along with other emerging market currencies, bearish.
Okay, all right. Let's have a look if anyone else has asked any other questions. Paul wants to know, well, before I get to Paul's question, Saurav says, how's it? Aslam says, afternoon all. Good afternoon, Aslam. Hello, Saurav. Boom, boom from Linley and Gerald. How's it, guys? Paul wants to know this. What are your thoughts on the DXY now?
Okay, so the DXY is an important chart for the same. Also, when you are assessing the rand along with other emerging market currencies, as well as Bitcoin, etc. So there's a fascinating relationship playing out here between Bitcoin, crypto as a whole, and the dollar. So generally, what you expect is that when the dollar is strong, it's going to put pressure on the emerging market. Well, sorry, it's going to put pressure on the dollar because a dollar is obviously seen as your reserve currency, your safe haven. But so what we're seeing here is that Bitcoin has strengthened during this time of weakness. So we've had weakness is a prevailing trend, a weak dollar, and that's in many ways, I think, allowed Bitcoin and crypto to do well, along with silver and other potential currencies that are almost at odds with the dollar. But what you've got here now is a rounding bottom. So this could be the first type of signs that this trend is now changing. Although you can see that we had a similar setup over here, August, September last year, similar setup here. This one never played out. Will this one play out? Time will tell. We'll have to see. So it's an interesting one to watch, and this will definitely give you a good type of barometer about where you expect your rands and your emerging market currencies to be. In time, potentially, we're going to see the dollar and Bitcoin going up together, I think. And that'll be a very interesting scenario, but and that correlation is something to keep an eye on. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Now, we don't have any other questions, so I'm going to ask you this final question. We'll wrap it up there because we've spent enough time, I think, today analyzing the various charts. Graham, so Ray Dalio, the famous hedge fund manager from Bridgewater, I think it is. He wrote a book called The Changing World Order. I think it's called The New World Order, which is about the upcoming rise of China as an empire. So the United States replaced the British Empire in the early 20th century. And now it looks as though, from his perspective, that China is going to rise to become the new world superpower. My question to you is, just talking about the US dollar strength as the reserve currency in the global economy, do you think China will become, or the Chinese yuan will become, the reserve currency of the future, or will it be another currency?
You haven't given me an easy question to end things off, have you?
Well, I know you have an opinion on this, so I'd love for you to share it with the people.
Sure. So, I mean, you really have to look at a crystal ball to answer these type of questions. I think, if I were to guess, I would think that you're going to see some form of one world currency in time. So we see increasingly a move towards digital currency. The Chinese are ahead of the curve. They've already announced their digital yuan. I think it's a matter of time until you see the digital dollar. Will that kind of replace the existing dollar, or will that be something that will run at the same time? Time will tell. But I think one way or another, we definitely, well, I expect to see a consolidation of global fiat currencies rather than more fiat currencies being produced. And so, yeah, and I think ultimately those will then rival Bitcoin. So, you'll have a scenario where society or the financial system will either say, well, yes, we want to adopt Bitcoin as an alternative to the current system, or are we going to move with the governments, with the orchestrated plan, and adopt whatever new currency they want to bring to the table. So, yeah, I don't want to get too much more specific than that, but it's a fascinating thing to watch play out. And I think that as more stress the financial economy comes under more stress, there's more money printing, the existing system comes under more and more pressure, and that's why we see something like Bitcoin get the type of attention that it's getting. And let's see how the story develops.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Graham, thank you so much. That's been a really intriguing analysis today. Very exciting times as well. It looks like that recent pump from 39,000 up to almost 45,000 today has cooled off a little bit. So that's interesting. We'll keep an eye on that very closely.
Yeah. I mean, look at that move. I mean, from top to bottom, it was what, a 13% spike.
And that is in an hour. Just phenomenal.
2 hours. So, yeah, again, that's caution. So for me, this is a good time to be taking a little bit of profit off the table. Again, some of those more speculative positions, because this is definitely greed is the dominant the dominant emotion here, especially in the short term. So caution would be my recommendation.
All right. And I think a lot of people have mentioned this, but that old adage that says time in the market is better than trying to time the market. And that's why those hodl positions are so important, because trying to time a 1 hour candle of a 13% increase is just impossible. So for anyone who's learning, investing and trading, just having some kind of hodl position is just so important for these kind of volatile markets such as crypto. All right, Graham, thank you so much.
Thank you, James.
It's been great. Thanks everyone for watching. Just a reminder that this episode is proudly sponsored by Crypto Vault. You can check them out, www.cryptovault.co.za. They are an authorized reseller of Ledger and Trezor hardware wallets. So if you need a Ledger or a Trezor, then we encourage you to check them out. They offer you the best prices with very close to next day delivery. It's www.cryptovault.co.za. Until next time, everyone, from myself, James Preston.
And myself, Graham Tennant.
It's goodbye for now.
Yes, for now.
Nice one. That was great.